Welcome back to Reimagine 2021. I'm Yonah Hochhauser, and today I'm glad to be joined by Misha Lederman, Director of Communications at Klever.io. Misha, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Yonah, for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here.
Well, I'm happy to speak to you. You seem like a really awesome dude. But you want to give our audience a little background, kind of who you are and how you got into blockchain?
For sure. I've been working in the field of communications for over a decade, been in blockchain and crypto since 2016. I joined the Klever team in 2019 and been building and growing the Klever ecosystem ever since.
Very cool. All right, so let's hop right into it. What is Klever?
Klever is truly all you need in crypto at this point, and just adding new features. Klever is an app for iOS and Android that is a self-custody wallet. It's one of the fastest growing self-custody wallets on the market. Currently supports 10 blockchains, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tron, Litecoin, Digibyte, Doge, Dash, Binance Chain, XRP, and Bitcoin Cash. So essentially
Impressive.
all the major
Did you memorize all that?
I live, breathe, and sleep Klever, so it's kind of in my system.
Bravo.
And of course these chains have been added due to popular demand, not just from our users but also from usage. The more usage and users on a blockchain, the more likelihood that we will add it. Klever allows non-custodial nature of blockchain, meaning that the user downloads the app and gets the keys. We do not hold any keys. No one else can access the keys besides the specific device of the user. The Klever app is very versatile. You can hold, send, receive, charge, of course, just regularly, but you can also stake both KLV and Tron. You can access Ethereum dApps like Uniswap and SushiSwap and any other fruit swaps that are out there directly in the built-in browser, as well as Tron dApps. So tens of thousands of dApps are directly available to our users. We've just launched a partnership with another Israeli prominent firm. Everybody knows them, of course, in the crypto industry. It's Simplex, where we've built together over 3-4 months a joint product to buy crypto inside of Klever in a very, I would say, painless way. It used to be very painful to buy crypto, as you might have experienced, and many of us have experienced over the years. But what we do together in Klever with Simplex is just a very, very easy, simple, elegant, and enjoyable user experience to buy crypto and get it in 10-15 minutes directly into your wallet. And it really is an ecosystem that's growing. The app is just the fundamental basics of what we're going in 2021, which of course I will go into later on.
So, all right. So before we actually dive into the ecosystem and even the app itself, let's talk more high level about self-custody. Because essentially in the crypto world, you kind of have two basic options, which is you either hold your keys yourself or you entrust a third party to hold your keys for you, which is essentially you're trusting them with all the access. They hold not your keys, not your crypto. I'm a big proponent of that. So how does self-custody work? In my mind, true self-custody, I write down my key on a piece of paper or on a hardware wallet, and that's it. I got it. How does it work? What is Klever giving to me that enables them to both, I have my key, I'm the custody, so then what are they giving me? Just an easy UI, UX to interact with my wallet?
Yes, it's a local storage on your device, meaning that the only way to access your funds is to go through your phone and your biometrics and your PIN code. So there's several physical security layers to get through on your device. But the entire app is built on a brand new operating system that we call Klever OS that has several added layers of security, which means that a signature is signed on several layers on the operational side. But what the self-custody actually means is that even if someone takes your phone, even if someone you lose your phone and someone accesses your Google account or your Apple account, they cannot access your funds unless they know your password, have your face as biometrics, fingerprint, whatever you're using, which is quite unique and comforting. Because the local storage means that no one else can access it, including Klever's own developers. So it's a very central core principle of what we're doing, which is to empower our users to reclaim their financial freedom. It's a political statement, it's a financial statement, and it's a statement of self-empowerment that I own my crypto, I have my own keys, therefore I own my money. It's a completely novel, new concept for most 1% sitting on crypto Twitter and throughout the blockchain industry, but we're growing, and it's fascinating to see, and it's amazing to see the growth of not just our app but the industry itself. Bitcoin hitting 42K, Ethereum hitting new all-time highs, and the entire industry just moving forward with voices that are much more secure and confident, like Michael Saylor's and others that come in with a more philosophical basis of reserve currency and hedge against inflation with Bitcoin. So people love self-custody, evidently. Like I was telling you, Yonah, right before we started here, that over the past 6 months, since the summer of 2020, we then had 255,000 total downloads. Today we have 2.2 million. So that's a 10x growth almost on 6 months, and it just shows how that growing kind of furious interest in actually holding your own keys is on the market.
And of course, because you guys don't have your own don't actually hold the keys, obviously, if I lose my phone, you can't just give me, or forgot my password. There's no forget password. I'm assuming you guys, there's a seed, 12-word seed or whatever, 24, depending on what they choose.
12.
Seed recovery, exactly. With that seed recovery, am I able to recover my wallet through any other source? Let's say Klever goes out of business, the app goes down, whatever it may be. Can I take that seed phrase and reconstruct my wallet in any environment, or does it have to be using the Klever app?
Yes, you can reconstruct it in other apps, and especially also what's important for people who especially use Klever with a big amount of funding. It's also important to take down your private keys, not just your 12 words. Your 12 words connect through Klever in a way that's a little bit smarter or clever, perhaps. That it's not just the 12 words for instance, Binance chain, or for Bitcoin, or for Ethereum, or for Tron. The 12 words, if you lose your phone, if you lose your Klever app and you want to restore it, you have a new phone or you have a new pad or device, and you take it down, you input your 12 words, all of your accounts come back. Meaning that it's not just for one account, it's all the blockchains and all the multiple accounts that you have created on your Klever app.
But my question being, as in you're able to do that one-stop shop of unlocking all your accounts. Does it have to be done through Klever, or can I also, with that one seed phrase, let's say Klever goes out of business or whatever it may be, am I able to take that one seed phrase and reconstruct all those accounts externally without having to rely on Klever?
Of course, you cannot create all accounts on another device, because most other apps don't support the blockchains that we support. So the seed might work for one blockchain, but not others. So first and foremost, Klever is not going out of business. Klever is growing exponentially. We've added so many developers this year that we are now over 50 developers inside the Klever team. Not just one of the fastest growing user bases, but also aggressively growing developers team. So we're not going anywhere. And the self-custody on Klever is more, I feel more secure than I ever have with any hardware wallet or any hot wallet or cold wallet I've used in the past.
Mm-hmm. And by the way, I'm not picking on you. I'm only bringing up issues or questions or worries that potential users might want to think about or be worried about, and give you the chance to address them, because I know a lot of people, who wanted to empower themselves, who want to hold their own keys. They kind of been burdened in the past. Looking at Ledger being one example. Ledger is obviously one of the biggest when it comes to cold storage wallets. And yes, while they didn't leak the keys and seats, they leaked major public data, customer data, like home addresses, phone numbers, and things of that nature. So,
which in itself is it might even be worse than the data itself, because especially people on Ledger are usually people who hold quite a significant amount of crypto. That's why you hold you want a cold wallet. But this breach on Ledger, giving out not just addresses, names, phone numbers, it's really severe, and it's really damaged the industry quite significantly for cold storage, because it kind of takes away the purpose, right, of anonymity and privacy. So yeah, I know too many people who've contacted me about getting threats via all channels, not just email, but via phone, SMS, and it's quite scary, to be honest.
And then the question is, does Klever require either customer data? Does it require any KYC? Does it require me to give personal information? And secondly, how do you guys store or keep safe that information?
No KYC at all.
Yes.
So we do not store your personal data, because we do not have your personal data. We do not hold your email. We do not hold your social security, your phone number, nothing of the likes. It's part of our philosophy to empower people privately, and making people be kind of rulers of their own future, and holding the keys to their own future by not giving up too much of their personal information. So you download the Klever app on iOS or Android. You open the app, you take down your 12 words, you write them down on a paper. Hopefully you store it out safely somewhere for forever. And once you enter them, you can start the life of the Klever app without putting in any personal information. Very important.
That's what I like to hear. I love it, man. And I appreciate you guys offering that, because the only thing safer than deleting customer data is not asking for that data in the first place. So kudos to you. That's a big one. Now, one of the things, let's say one of the reasons, or one of the reasons why someone would historically not keep their own keys, or whether it be in a cold storage wallet or stuff, but rather give it to an exchange or third party, is because of the features. Like for instance, if you keep your money in Binance, not only is it holding your funds for you, but it enables you to kind of trade many pairs, swap, stake, all these features. And historically, self-custody wallets or cold storage wallets, definitely not cold storage wallets, but self-custody wallets also have been lagging behind the mainstream exchanges when it comes to that. What kind of features does Klever have that enables users not just to hold their funds, but actually utilize the funds?
Great question. And it's really one of our main purposes. It's important that Klever users worldwide do not feel like their funds are stuck simply because they're using a self-custody wallet. The opposite is true. We have our own native in-house built swap engine with over 300 trading pairs, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tron, multiple tokens on both Ethereum, multiple tokens on both Tron, Binance, including Binance chain token Travala, our partner in the travel industry, Litecoin, Digibyte, Doge, all of these have swap pairs with one another. It's a one-click wonder. It's super convenient, saves time. Currently, we also have 50% lower fees. It's just much easier than going and sending it to Binance, waiting for the money, waiting for a good opportunity, put in an order book. That's not who the majority of people who are going to enter the space or currently are in the space actually want. They want that one-click wonder, and that's what we're providing them with Klever Swap. Additionally, KLV Staking. KLV is our native token, runs currently on as a TRC20 token, but this year we'll be migrating to the Klever Blockchain. KLV is currently staked. 51% of all KLV are staked seamlessly inside the app by thousands of users worldwide. There's different staking percentages depending on when you enter. Currently, it's at 10%. It's a deflationary model, so each year it goes down 2%. So next year is 8%, the year after 6%, 4%, and 2% indefinitely from 2%. Users, literally, it's the simplest thing in the world. Once again, simplicity is key to everything we do. User experience needs to be simple, enjoyable, elegant, and useful. So anyone can stake KLV directly inside of Klever. All you do is you freeze it, you stake it, and then you can claim hourly rewards, daily rewards, weekly rewards, whenever you want, and use that KLV to whatever you want and have a passive income. So there's a lot of things you can do inside of Klever. Although it's a non-custodial wallet, it's really not a regular non-custodial self-custody wallet. So a lot of users, of course, use the app because of the browser, because most software apps and crypto don't have a browser anymore, or don't have a good one, or a fast one, or a reliable one. So that's why we currently support all Tron dApps, so people can grow their funds there. All Ethereum dApps, people can grow their funds there. And within the next roughly 30 days, we will also be adding Binance Smart Chain.
Very cool. Now, those are two things I want to unpack there, KLV and the browser. I'll start off with KLV. What does the KLV do besides being staked? I mean, what is it exactly staking? Usually staking is is an economic incentive model for validators and nominators. What are we staking, and what does KLV do?
Okay, so KLV as a use case, besides the sending, receiving, and staking, the staking itself is part of a smart contract that increases the supply each year, with 10% this year, 8% next year, 6% after that, in a deflationary model. So that is how the staking works, and that's how our users can take part and get rewarded for supporting the project and staking the KLV. Beyond that, the Klever Swap, a central driving factor, the power that fuels Klever Swap is KLV. So all swap pairs are paired with KLV. All swap pairs can be paid, the swap fees can be paid either with a reduced fee in KLV, or you can hold a bunch of KLV and have a VIP tier on how low your fees can get. Low as 0.15% actually, just by holding a lot of KLV in your wallet. You can also participate in future staking of the blockchain itself. We just put out our white paper a few weeks ago on Klever.finance. You can find that. It's the Klever Blockchain white paper, where KLV, it's many blockchain protocols, blockchain foundations have, in my opinion, done a very great mistake when, instead of using one and the same token for many platforms, many products, many services, they've done the opposite. Create a product and create a token for that. Create another service and create a token for that. We do it completely opposite. Every product and every platform that we have fielded and we're going to field, Klever is the main utility token. So KLV runs through the entire ecosystem, currently inside the app, inside the swap engine, inside the staking mechanism, from testnet in Q2 on blockchain. This Q1 Klever exchange for mobile, centralized exchange. We need to diversify, of course. So a decentralized wallet building a centralized exchange in order to provide more for our users. KLV will also be a central point in a really fascinating new product we're building now also in Q1 for mobile. It's Klever Browser. So essentially taking the built-in browser and making it a native app for anyone and all to use, with the desktop coming in Q3.
Well, so KLV seems to be a similar kind of a business model or economic model as Binance's BNB, which brings its value from the actual use of the actual platform, or in your case, the wallet, the app. Do you think it's fair to say? I mean, you guys
let me, Yonah, sorry, let me just interrupt.
Yeah.
BNB is it's a very good. Sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to add something. Problem. BNB has done a really cool thing about burning, right? And it's really exciting about, they burn a certain percentage each period. We burn 10% of all swap fees every 6 hours.
Wow.
So in our main Telegram group, now 43,000 members, every 6 hours comes up this much KLV has been burned from swap fees, and that's something we do continuously each day. Just wanted to mention that it's another comparison with BNB.
Gotcha. Well, so then, would you think it's fair? I mean, you guys are offering the ability to both hold funds, along with a bunch of features built on in terms of swapping, staking, and all these things. Would you say it's fair to call you guys Binance with self-custody, as in you guys have all the functionality, ease of use, and user experience of Binance, which is great, without actually having to trust Binance holding your keys?
Yonah, I've never heard the expression before, but you coined it, Binance for self-custody. It's pretty clever. I don't think we need to compare ourselves to anyone. I think Binance is doing a fantastic job on so many levels in furthering crypto adoption throughout the world. There's a reason they have sometimes 70% of all trading volume, but we're not comparing ourselves or going after someone simply because what they've made before. We're trying to learn from others' mistakes, others' success, and we're challenging ourselves on a daily basis to just create better products and more enjoyable, useful user experiences for our users. But now that we're fielding the exchange in Q1, like I said, first for the browser, and the desktop for Klever Exchange will follow in Q3. There will be an added layer of kind of versatile functioning inside of the Klever ecosystem. So anyone who doesn't want to trust Klever with custody on a centralized exchange can continue to use the Klever app, own your own keys, hold your own funds, and use the swap mechanism essentially inside Klever. But it's going to be fascinating to see, because we everything we put into our new products, including the exchange, we take by constantly just listening to our users. What do they want? What do they need? What is good for them? What does not work? It is a challenging task because we currently have downloads in over 200 countries, with I think the 4 largest countries right now is US, Nigeria, India, and Philippines. So you can just imagine the diverse user base population, almost in terms of geolocation. So the app is available in 24 languages. you can, instead of having in US dollars showing all your values and amounts, you can choose 164 different currencies. So for instance, I don't have dollars. I use the Israeli shekel, which is pretty nice too. And anyone in Philippines can use their own native currency. But we're building things from constant feedback from our users, and not just what they want and request, but also what we see is needed in terms of market gap.
Mm-hmm. And that is a great philosophy to build on, and a great way to build a business similar to what Amazon did, kind of customer first, and kind of really listen to what people want and what people want to use. When we're going back to this idea of self-custody and holding one's keys versus trusting a centralized exchange, and historically, like we mentioned, the big difference being kind of the usability feature set, and you guys had that taken care of. Another big difference would be cost. For most centralized exchanges, it's free to deposit onto crypto onto their system and their platform, because obviously they want it there. But then where they get you, kind of, they'll say, is when you actually want to withdraw your funds out of their platform, that's when you get hit with the big fee. If I am keeping my funds in the Klever app with my Klever wallet, which is self-custody, I can essentially move my funds for free. If I want to withdraw from my Klever wallet to my Ledger wallet, that is free. There are 0 fees taking place there.
The only fees that are included in the transaction or transfer of funds from our wallet or to another account inside the wallet, or to another account on the Ledger or any other hardware wallet or software wallet is the network fee. Mm-hmm. Right. So, for instance, for UTXO blockchains like Bitcoin and Digibyte and Litecoin, we have custom fees. So anyone can choose to do it very fast and pay a little bit more, or to take whatever time the blockchain processes it. Sometimes Bitcoin takes a few minutes. Sometimes it takes a few hours. We don't really know. But so that's one thing. It's only the network fees in terms of transfer. When you transfer in and out of exchanges, as you said, there's always this transaction fee that goes directly to the exchange. No, does not exist in Klever.
Mm-hmm. That's also another positive for someone who wants to get the feature set of a centralized exchange with holding their own keys. That's just another pro. You're slowly converting me into a believer. Now you mentioned that.
Listen, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just telling you that there's really nothing out there on the market that is as enjoyable as the Klever app in terms of crypto usage. And if you get in now, along with the 2.2 million users that are already downloaded the app, you will be part of the evolution of the ecosystem and the formation of the ecosystem. We're going to field a really exciting new initiative shortly, which relates very much to news, education, community, gamification inside the app, where the community members and other influencers will be able to contribute their content, their articles, their videos, and get paid in KLV, of course, get rewarded for different daily tasks. And it's going to be a very exciting way to see how a global community shares knowledge with each other.
Mm-hmm. It's very cool. Wikipedia, but actually getting paid for it. Very cool. You can also use that one. Now, you mentioned that you guys are also launching your own blockchain. What exactly would be the added value there for the user of the Klever blockchain? What is unique or special about the Klever blockchain? And especially important today, will it be kind of EVM compatible? Will play nice with all the DeFi toys that are available out there in the space?
Great question. A different kind of answer. After the interview, if you have time, once again, Klever.finance, you can read the entire white paper, but I'll give you the gusp of it. Essentially, what we're doing, in the Klever team, there are engineers and security architects and blockchain engineers that have a vast experience in building on top of many different kind of blockchains, including UTXOs, but also smart contract blockchains like Ethereum and Tron, of course. Instead of utilizing the old model of smart contracts, anyone who has looked into the security issues and vulnerabilities of smart contracts know that it's actually the dumbest part of a blockchain, in the sense of malicious actors and hackers being able to access people's funds, trick the smart contract itself, get away with hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars over just the past year. And smart contracts give the added value of functionality, right? Of a feature, of a trigger, whether it's a swap or a loan or collateral. What we're going to do in Klever Blockchain is that we're going to remove the smart contracts completely. So there will not be an EVM or TVM or other virtual machine. Instead, all the features needed for developers building on top of Klever Blockchain will be built by the Klever Foundation natively into the blockchain. You want a swap mechanism on your token or your project? It will be clickable, and it's native to the blockchain, meaning it's unhackable. You want a loan feature or trigger for any kind of game or dice or a collateral or DeFi aspect, a feature that is requested and used on many different smart contract apps today. We will build it into the blockchain, make it native to the blockchain, thereby increasing security significantly while making it a lot simpler for developers to actually deploy their apps. And upon that, we're going to provide CleverOS SDK, which means that through the blockchain, you'll actually be able to take our wallet and essentially plug it into any app, website, wearable device that you're building on top of.
Mm-hmm. Like you mentioned, there has been noticeably or very well known massive hacks or exploits due to smart contracts being poorly written, smart contracts that were written maliciously from the first place. So there obviously is a lot wrong with smart contracts, but on the plus side, it's code. It's 0 or it's 1, and those are the rule setters. And you know that if the smart contract is written this way, it's going to behave this way. And so I wonder if Klever has the ability, or it's up to the Klever team to build these functionality. Does that not give the Klever
together with the Klever developers community? Of course, it's not just the foundation. Right. It's in coordination with the developers community.
Right, but does that not mean that Klever, the same way it turns on the functionality and it adjusts the functionality, doesn't that mean that it also has the ability to change the functionality, make it turn off, turn on? Essentially, you're putting the trust here, whereas the smart contracts both get their negatives, but also their positives from being truly computer based. It's what's the word I'm looking for? It's language. It's
code based.
It's exactly.
It's code.
Code is law.
Code is law.
Here, yeah, exactly. Code is law. Thank you. Where their code is law here, code is law, but doesn't Klever control the code?
No, in this sense, the functionalities and the features, once built and someone utilizes it, it's permanent, because we can't change a feature that someone is already using, right? So native to the blockchain means that it's there and it's not changeable. It's not something that we can go in and suddenly tweak or change. It's part of the blockchain. If we need to add a new feature or an added feature or something similar but with a tweak, we'll have to build a new one. So a lot of thought has been gone into it, many years of research and development over, I think I was just given an estimate, an accumulated 100,000 hours of research and development has gone in by the Klever team over the past 6-7 years into optimizing not just the Klever OS and Klever app and the SDK being built, but the blockchain itself.
Mm-hmm. So the same way that a smart contract could be poorly written, and that's the vulnerability there, or the smart contract is maliciously written, and that's the vulnerability there. I mean, smart contracts in and of themselves, if it's written correctly, and if there is no loopholes within the contract, there is no hacking the contract. You could exploit, maybe the business logic behind it. If it depends on the Oracle or anything like that. Don't the same risks carry over to the Klever functions, which is essentially smart contract? Isn't it just in Klever written smart contracts, and it comes the same vulnerability of either poorly written, maliciously written, or aren't there the exact same risks of a smart contract as a Klever functionality, which I'm replacing here a smart contract?
It's a pretty nice word, Klever functionality. I like to use the word Klever trigger, but Klever functionality works well. There is a level of trust into the Klever Foundation itself, especially in the beginning of the building of the blockchain. That's nothing that we need to shy away from. It's something actually that builds a lot of trust, because the blockchain itself is going to be very business-centric oriented. So we're going to work very closely with businesses originally starting out in South America, where we're based out of. Brazil is our home base, where also we're going to field one of the main components of the blockchain, which is going to be a new product called Klever Bank, essentially a digital bank account for any user starting out in Brazil and then moving on. But yes, there is a level of trust to not just Klever, but also the auditors that are going to audit all the different triggers. So there's always going to be third-party audits that comes in and does the kind of security revision of those triggers. So if you compare the DeFi world, where do you have a number on how much money was lost over the past year through exploits or hacks? Or
quite a lot.
Quite a lot. And we're talking about hundreds, if not billions of dollars, most likely several billions of dollars. It's unacceptable, I think, to continue in a way that has that many loopholes, right? We have to find a way to instead build it natively into the blockchain, thereby making it more secure. And that's what we're going to do.
Oh, so by the way, I'm not against. I wasn't knocking you guys by comparing it to smart contracts. I'm a firm believer. Just like one should own their own keys, one should do their own research into smart contracts they're relying on. The same way, whether you're relying on a third-party auditor that you trust, you should also rely on don't be foolish, don't be blind, and do your own research.
I hear you, but it's very hard for someone who is code illiterate to do research on a smart contract, right? Someone who's never done coding, which 99% of future blockchain users have not done, they don't need to go in and see, is this contract, they don't even have the ability to understand whether the contract has veracity or is trustable or not. So we're making it simpler. We're making it a lot more accessible, cheaper to deploy, simpler to build, and more accessible to all, whether you have any experience in blockchain building or blockchain developing or not. You should be able to deploy any app, whether it's fully blockchain based or has a 1% interaction with the blockchain itself.
Mm-hmm. And right now, when it comes to security, we're talking about keeping funds secure. For the most part, there are hot wallets and there are cold wallets. Within the realm of the custody and self-custody, a game, you could let's say the least safe but the easiest to use has historically been third-party custodian exchanges, like a Binance, for instance, where they're holding your keys, and it's essentially, they keep things in hot and cold wallets, but that's the fastest, easiest to use. And then let's say the safest but slowest to use is keeping your own cold storage wallet. It means it's disconnected from the internet, and your keys are there yourself. Now, you guys have a pretty secure solution because the keys are in my hands, but if it's in my hands on my app, that obviously means it is a hot wallet, is connected to the internet. is there also a cold storage kind of option here if someone wants to be super secure with their funds?
In two quarters, there will be a Klever hardware wallet being introduced. We've just recruited several hardware engineers to build a Klever hardware wallet. And we're very excited about that because it gives peoples and users the option to not just feel comfortable with the app they're using on a daily basis in Klever, but even more so say, you know what, I don't even want to have it on my phone. I don't even want to have it on a local storage, although it's completely and fully secure. I want it completely off the internet, and that's why we're going to build a hardware wallet as well.
Mm-hmm. And I really like the fact that as opposed to a ledger, where they are taking your personal information and losing your personal information or exposing it to the world, I do like that it still comes with that. I'm assuming you won't require any KYC there as well.
That's up to the future. We will, of course, learn from the mistakes of others. Let's not name names. Let's just make sure, anything we do, like I said, we learn from the mistakes of others and we learn from the success of others. So any procedure on how to store anyone's personal data when sending a hardware wallet will, of course, be rigorously reviewed before we implement it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Misha, that is all the questions that I have. This is your opportunity to plug whatever you want. Plug your favorite song, plug your favorite project, plug your own company, go away.
So first and foremost, thank you very much, Yonah. It was a pleasure. Evidently, we're also in the same vicinity, in the same country, in the same city, but far away due to lockdown. But thank you very much. It was really nice that you had me and had us, Klever, introducing you to your audience. One really fascinating feature that we're building beyond the exchange, browser, blockchain, hardware wallet, and the bank that I've mentioned so far is a trading bot. That is going to be part of the Klever subscription, and we're going to launch it in Q2. It essentially gives you, we're using a lot of bots in general as part of our automated swap engine and making sure that to find the best prices off exchanges to make sure boom, 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 that everything goes well. But to use bots for the user's ability to trade is something I think is really, really, really uncharted territory at the moment. And there's not really a good user experience out there where you can literally in the same app be able to subscribe to something and this bot will tell you whether Bitcoin is going to, have a high likelihood of hitting 40K or go down to under 30K or whatever the scenario is at the moment. But, whether you should go long or go short through AI. So we're using a lot of machine learning as we move forward, making it a bit more clever way and making sure that it's accessible to our users on a global scale.
Awesome. Well, Misha, I'm very excited. It seems like not only have you guys got a pretty solid product in your hands today, but it seems like you have a ton of things coming down the pipeline. So I'm very excited. I know that once this interview is done, I'm going to go check out the Klever app for myself. I really appreciate you taking the time. Very exciting. I'm sure our viewers enjoyed it as well. And for all of us here at REIMAGINE 2021, I'm Yonah Hochhauser. Thanks for watching.